Hey guys, it's Emily and today we're going to be talking about my goals for 2022. So I hope you guys like this little cozy ambiance that I have going on. I saw G from Book Rose upload a very cozy, casual, chit-chatty video in which she recapped 2021 and I really love the vibes of that video. And then I saw Lisa from Remarkably Lisa upload a bookish goals that included her nighttime routine, and I just really loved the cozy vibe. So I thought I would kind of recreate the ambiance. I hope you guys like it, and I feel like this is going to be a very rambly and chit-chatty video, so make sure to grab yourself a warm cup of tea or whatever your warm beverage of choice is. And without further ado, let's just dive in. So let's start by recapping 2021, shall we? I feel like I need to kind of go over how 2021 went so that you guys have a better idea of where my mindset was when it came to setting my goals for the new year. Let me just put down that cup of tea first. It's very warm and I feel like I'm just going to burn myself. I'm going to let it cool for a bit. As a whole, 2021 was kind of a crap year, to be completely honest. In all honesty, I didn't reach any of my reading goals. Actually, if you guys want to watch that video in which I set out my goals for 2021, I will make sure to leave it in the cards up above if I can remember to do that. But I will not be going over every single one of my goals for 2021. I feel like that could be a whole video in itself, and I just want to focus on 2022 and forget about the crap year that was 2021 for me. So in terms of reading, I think this was one of my worst reading years that I've ever had. And not even because I didn't read a lot of books. I actually managed to read 125 books, which was a little bit lower than what I had set out for. But I feel like nothing really stood out to me in 2021. Making my list of favorite books of the year, which will be coming your way very soon, hopefully by the time that you watch this, was kind of easy for me because 2021 didn't really have a lot of amazing reads. I feel like I read a lot of average reads. Nothing really amazed me or even disappointed me in such a way that I hated a book. I feel like I had a lot of 3-star reads. I had a couple of 2 stars. I don't think I had any 1-star read, but most of it was 3 or 4 stars, and I just don't feel like anything stood out to me. I feel like I keep repeating myself, but honestly I just feel like it was such a blur. I don't remember much from the year in terms of reading because nothing really amazed me. So unfortunately I didn't end up reaching any of my reading goals. I think I had set out way too many for myself and I kind of felt lost because I didn't know where to begin with my goals. And so you'll see in 2022 I have set a fewer amount of goals, but I feel like they're all very reachable and realistic. And I started 2021 in a mindset of it's going to be the same as 2020, because for me 2020 was such an amazing year, which is kind of weird to say, especially given the whole COVID situation, but for me it was one of the best years of my life, whereas 2021 ended up being a complete disappointment because I think I had set my hopes up way too high. And so when it came to actually trying to work towards my goals and everything like that, I just feel like I let myself down. I started the year off kind of on a bad foot because I hit a massive reading slump in January and it kind of followed me around throughout the entire year, on and off. It just was not a year that I would like to remember. I think I can just forget about 2021, to be honest. It was kind of bad, and I hate to say this, but it just wasn't great. Now in terms of YouTube, it wasn't that bad, to be honest. I reached 2 of my goals, the first one being that I reached 1,000 subscribers, so thank you guys so much once again. And I also feel like I found my groove with YouTube, whereas in 2020 I was very structured. I think I had kind of found a rhythm when it came to producing content, which I kind of lost in 2021. I became very chaotic because my work life, I guess, became very chaotic as well, and I think that just transcended into my YouTube life, if that makes sense. I found my love for creating content again, and I think I had kind of lost that in 2020 because I was so, I guess, set on creating content every single week that in 2021 I decided to experiment a little bit and try new things when it comes to filming and editing, and I think I really found my love for the technical side of things, whereas before I didn't really care about that. I just wanted to put out a new video every Sunday. With YouTube, I think while I did not reach all of my goals, I think for some part of it I'm really happy with how 2021 turned out because I just had a lot of fun with the content creation process in 2021, and so I'm really hoping to carry that energy out into 2022. In terms of my personal goals, I didn't really reach any of them. The one that I came closest to is the fitness one. So I had set out a goal for myself to work out at least 3 times a week, and some weeks I did that, some weeks I didn't. But overall, I'm really happy with how my fitness year went, I guess. I really experimented once again with workouts. I really found a confidence at the gym. I tried out different workouts. I went with a friend and I tried different like exercises. I tried new things that I had never done before at the gym, and I grew stronger. I just really liked where I'm at with my mindset when it comes to working out, and I'm really hoping that I can continue with that mindset in 2022. So that was a very brief overview of my year. Like I said, it wasn't a great year, but I did have some highs that I wanted to share and also some lows, which happens. I'm really hoping to be a better version of myself in 2022 because I feel like I kind of lost sight of who I was and what I wanted in 2021. I became so engrossed in my work, and that's okay, but I also just feel like I need to slightly switch my gears in 2022 and just put myself at the center of everything. Like get back onto like a self-care routine and just take care of myself and my passions, habits, and just take care of myself because I feel like I kind of lost that in the past year. Now, let's dive into my goals for the new year. So once again, I have divided them into 3 different categories. So we have reading goals, YouTube goals, and then personal goals. I will be leaving timestamps in the description box down below in case you want to jump around and if there's any section that you're more interested than others. And without further ado, let's just dive in. So let's start with my reading goals. Now this year, I really lowered the amount of goals that I had set out for myself. I think I may have 4 goals that I have set out for the new year, and I've put them in priority order. So the way that I will be presenting them is the way that I'm going to be prioritizing them. So the goal number 1 is going to be my top priority for the year, and then so on and so forth. I really decided to condense the amount of goals that I set out for myself so that I could really dedicate my entire energy towards achieving those goals. So my first goal for the year is to get my physical TBR to 0. Now, I had set out a similar goal for myself in 2021, and that did not happen. I think I started the year off with 75 physical books on my TBR, and I ended the year with over 100 books. I think right now I'm standing at 101 unread books on my physical TBR, and I'm just not happy with that. Like, I really need to finally read the books that I buy because I don't think I bought more this year than I have before, but I feel like I read the books that I buy as soon as I get them, and I forget about the books that I've owned for ages. So I have books that I have bought way back, like back when I started my channel in 2018, and I have probably books that I bought even before then, and I still have not read them. So we really need to get to reading the books that I purchase, and so that's why I'm going to be prioritizing my physical TBR this year. I'm also putting myself on a mini book buying ban, meaning that I will not be allowed to buy any more physical books unless there's a few exceptions. So number 1, I am allowing myself to buy 1 physical book for every 8 physical books that I read. I think that's kind of a realistic like range for me. I guess I tend to read about 8 to 12 books per month when I have a good reading month, and so I thought that 8 would be maybe 1 book a month, and I just feel like that's kind of okay. If I see that this becomes too easy, I may increase the number of physical books that I have to read before purchasing something, but as a whole, like 8 seemed enough of a challenge but not too easy, because at first I wanted to do 5, but then I thought maybe that's too easy and I would be buying too much. So I thought 8 was kind of a good middle ground. Number 2, I'm still allowed to buy audiobooks, ebooks, and other formats that are not physical books. And number 3, I am kind of bending the rules in terms of series. So if I read book number like 2 in a series and I need to get the 3rd to complete the series, then I'm gonna allow myself to buy it even if I haven't read 8 books on my physical TBR. Just because, as you'll see, it's my second goal for the year is to actually finish up the series that I started, and this year I am setting myself a goal of finishing about 25% of the series that I've already started. So let's dive into that goal. Let's talk about it. I have currently, I think, 55 series on my list of series that I started and I'm currently in the middle of. If you guys would be interested in me making a video about those series, let me know, but I feel like that's a lot. I'm really great at starting series, but I'm really not great at following up. So I would really like to concentrate my efforts into finishing at least 25%, which would be 12 to 13 series by the end of the year. Now, there's a couple that I could easily finish because I have a couple of duologies, I have a couple of trilogies where I only have to read 1 more book in order to finish a series, and so I would really like to at least be caught up or finish 12 to 13 series this year, which I think is realistic. Goal number 3 is to increase my NetGalley feedback ratio. So I had set myself a similar goal last year. My goal for 2021 was to get to 80% because I was at about 30%. I'm still not very high. I think I'm at 39% currently, but this year I'm going to set up a goal of getting to 50%, which I think is a little bit more realistic, a little bit more attainable, and I really hope that I can do that. I have a feeling that I can reach that goal because what happened is that I requested a lot of ARCs in 2021 that I simply did not get around to, and so I ended up purchasing a physical copy of the book. Now, I could still read those books and review them and send the review on NetGalley and increase my feedback ratio that way. I feel like that could be a great way for me to reach that goal and at the same time work on my number 1 goal, which is to get through my physical TBR. I am hoping to prioritize reading ARCs. Maybe I'll try to be smarter with the ARCs that I'm requesting, because sometimes I'm super excited about a book and I request the ARC, but then when I get approved, I just don't review it. I don't read it. I just don't get around to it. So I would really love to be smarter and request maybe less books, or make sure that the books that I'm requesting are books that I'm actively looking forward to reading, because sometimes like the preview might sound great, but the hype dies down or something like that and I'm just not that interested anymore. So I really want to be smarter when it comes to requesting ARCs, and maybe just stop requesting altogether until I've reached the 50% mark. I don't know, but I would really love to work on my NetGalley score, because I feel like that's just a relationship that I have with publishers that I really want to work on. It's perfect now. Great. Finally, my last reading goal of the year is my Goodreads reading challenge. So in 2021, I had set out a goal of 150 books and I did not reach that. And this year, I really want to focus on the quality of the books rather than the quantity. So I'm not going to be going for a super high number again. I am going back to basics with 100 books in a year. That's something that isn't too challenging for me. I tend to read that every single year. This year I think I reached that goal in like October or something like that, and usually like during the fall I hit 100 books. I really don't want to stress myself out with the number of books that I have to read like I did in 2021, and I think that's one of the reasons why I hit a slump, and it just wasn't fun anymore because I just felt like I had to be constantly reading to keep up with the Goodreads challenge, and I don't want that energy to follow me into 2022. So we're lowering our goal a little bit. I think 100 is still kind of challenging in a way because it's a lot of books. Like when you think about it, 100 books is a lot. So now let's talk about my YouTube goals. I have set out quite a few goals for this year. Like my personal and YouTube goals are not numbered in any way, like they're not prioritized the way that my reading goals were. I just decided to set out a bunch of goals. Some of them are similar to last year, some of them are new, and I'm just really excited for my goals this year. I'm really excited for 2022. I feel like since 2021 was such a crap year, I am excited to turn things around, you know? So my first YouTube goal for the year is to participate in one community event per quarter. So in 2021, I kind of stepped back from readathons and such. I just wasn't in the mood, to be honest. I felt like I really did a lot in 2020, and so in 2021 I decided to take a step back from that, but now I kind of miss it. Like I miss the community feeling of like watching other people's reading vlogs and TBRs and participating. I just really miss that, and so I'm hoping to participate in at least one reading challenge, or you know, could be a readathon or read along, live reading sprints, whatever, like a community event once per quarter. Kind of in that vein, I almost put that goal or like challenge in my reading challenges, but since it kind of goes hand in hand with this very first goal, I also hope to participate in Buzzwordathon this year. So if you're not familiar with it, Buzzwordathon is a reading challenge that is hosted by Books and Lala. It used to be a readathon, but now Kayla has turned this into a reading challenge. Basically every month there is a prompt for you to follow, and there's basically two ways of participating. Number one, you read one book for that prompt every month, or number two is the first week of every month is kind of a readathon in which you try to read as many books that follow that prompt as possible. Personally, I'm kind of doing an adapted version of the first way, so I'm going to be trying to read one book per month that follows the prompt. Now, I've already looked at the list, and some of these I don't own books for currently on my physical TBR, and like I said, I'm not trying to purchase new books. I'm actually on a book buy and ban now, so I might switch the months around. I just hope that by the end of the year I will have hit all 12 prompts, and I think Kayla does this this way as well, so I don't even mind doing it that way. I feel like it's just going to be a fun way for me to maybe reach out for books that have been on my shelves for a while, and so I am excited to partake in that community challenge. Goal number 2 for me is to host some live reading sprints on my channel. Reading sprints have become very popular here on BookTube. I feel like a lot of people are doing them. I have co-hosted them once with my friend Meg, but I have never hosted them on my own channel, and I would love to finally be able to try that out, maybe by myself, maybe with some friends. I don't know yet. Let me know if that's something that you guys would be interested in, but I would like to try it out. Like, I feel like this is something that I would like to try. I do love tuning in whenever I can, and so I think this would be a fun thing to try out. My third goal is to get monetized. So in 2021, I reached the first threshold that you need in order to be considered as a YouTube partner. The first one is to get 1,000 subscribers, and I reached that. Now I only need to get 4,000 hours of watch time in the last 12 months. I think right now I'm sitting at a little under 300k, so I feel like I could get there quite easily within the year. And it's not even because I want to make money out of YouTube, but I think it would just be a nice bonus, you know, because I do pour a lot of energy and time into my videos. So even if it's not even a lot of money, I think it would be nice to finally get monetized. So goal number 4 for me is to get back to a uploading schedule. So I would like to consistently upload videos again, and I think I'm going to go back to my uploading schedule of uploading every Sunday at 11 a.m. EST. That really worked out for me before, and I think if I get back to that, then I will be able to be more structured with my content. I feel like, yes, it was fun to experiment and be chaotic in 2021, but I really miss the structure, and I feel like sometimes I went weeks without producing content or uploading it, and I would like to get back to being more regular for you guys and for myself. My 5th goal is to get back to uploading books around the world content, and more specifically, I would like to upload 1 books around the world video every quarter. So books around the world, if you're not familiar with it, is my series of videos where I read books that are set in different cities, countries, and continents. And while I really love creating those videos, they are very time consuming, and that's kind of why I think that I laid back off creating books around the world videos in the second half of 2021, and I miss it. Like, I really loved creating those videos, but like I said, they are time consuming, so I think that's realistic for me to create 1 per quarter. I do hope that I can produce more than that because I have quite a massive list of destinations that I would like to hit eventually, but I think once per quarter would be a very good bare minimum, and then we'll see if I decide to throw in some extra videos here and there. Now let's talk about my Disney content, which I know you guys are excited about. I know you guys are loving the Disney content. I think I did pretty well in 2021. I uploaded a lot more Disney videos, and I'm really happy with the way that they turned out. I'm hoping to carry that out into 2022, and I'm hoping to upload 1 Disney video every other month. So I could do more. There's nothing that tells me I won't be doing more than 6 videos that are Disney related in 2022, but if I do them too often, sometimes I just lose my spark when it comes to Disney content, and so I feel like 1 every other month would be realistic. And like I said, I will be probably doing some Twisted Tale videos. I will be filming a reading vlog for the new Serena Valentino book. And finally, I also decided to set a subscriber goal. Now, I'm not hoping to reach that. I would love to reach it. I think it's kind of a big stretch, like a big milestone, but it's not necessarily something that I'm super actively looking to reach in 2022, but I'm just throwing it out there in case you guys are curious about what my next subscriber milestone is. I'm hoping to reach 5,000 subscribers. Now, I don't know when that's going to happen. 2022 might be a bit of a stretch, but we're throwing it out there and we'll see if it happens. I am quite happy with where my channel is right now, but if it can get more people, I mean, I would love to grow our little community. Alright, so those were all of my YouTube goals. Now let's finish things off with my personal goals. So number 1, I would like to get back to a more regular skincare routine. I feel like I kind of lost that in 2021. Skincare is one of my absolute favorite things. If you didn't know this about me, I love skincare products. I've struggled with acne a lot as a teenager, and in the more recent years, I've really fallen in love with skincare. I feel like in 2021, for some reason, I kind of lost sight of that. I just got really bored with skincare. I got tired of doing it. I wouldn't sometimes wash my face in the morning. I wouldn't do any skincare. I would just throw on some products after the shower, but even then I feel like I've really narrowed down my skincare routine, which is not a bad thing per se, but I would love to just get back to a more regular and more dedicated skincare routine, because for me, self-care goes with skincare. For some reason, like I just associate the two. So I would really like to get back into doing skincare more regularly. Another goal of mine is to go on daily walks. Walking is probably my favorite form of cardio, and so I would love to incorporate it more into my daily life. If you didn't know, I work in digital marketing for an agency, and I work from home, I'd say 99% of the time. I do go to the office every once in a while, but for most of my days, I am stuck inside at home in this very room that you can see. So I would love to incorporate some form of daily movement just to make sure I get my steps in and clear my head. And I do tend to go on walks every day with my dog outside in the summertime, but in the colder months I just tend to hole up in my room, and the only time I ever work out is at the gym. But with the current situation here in Quebec, gyms are closed, and so I would love to at least go on daily walks. Could be like 10 minutes, 15 minutes or longer, but I would just love to go outside and clear out my head at the end of the day before I, you know, head to sleep and everything. I feel like this would be a great way to end my days, and so I would love to at least try, when the weather permits, to go on daily walks. Kind of in the same vein, I am bringing back my goal of working out 3 times a week. I think 3 times a week is a perfect spot for me. I wish I could do more, and eventually maybe I'll work my way up to like 4 or 5, maybe even 6 times a week. But 3 times is manageable enough. It's not too much that I become bored with it or that it feels like a chore. I feel like 3 times is just, it keeps me moving. I just feel like it's the perfect sweet spot for me. Hopefully with the COVID situation, I'll be able to go back to the gym, because I do feel like that's where I thrive when it comes to fitness. But I'll try some at-home workouts, and I guess we'll see where it goes. So my 4th goal is to document my life more. I feel like I'm really good at documenting like the big events like travel and, you know, let's say graduation and stuff like that. But I wish I could document my daily life a little bit more. Like, I want to remember the little things. I feel like at the end of every year, I'm always like, what happened in the past year? And I never am really able to put my finger on like everything that I did. And so I would love to just, you know, document a little bit more of my everyday life and remember all of the things that happen. Could be big, could be little. And I feel like Instagram stories maybe could be a great way for me to do that, or even like photo dumps on Instagram. I think they're fun, and maybe I'll partake in the trend, we'll see. But I feel like Instagram could be a great way of doing that. I feel like I do that in my vlogs a little bit, but I would really love to just have some ways to remember everything that happens within a year. And I feel like maybe taking photos, videos, stuff like that could be great memories to look back upon at the end of a year. Another goal that I'm bringing back is decluttering my room, especially my skincare and makeup products. I have a lot, and I feel like I purchased a lot over the years, but now I just need to use them. And since I kind of fell off the bandwagon in terms of makeup and skincare, I have not used my products as much, so I really need to just go through them, get rid of anything that's expired, and start using the products that I do own before purchasing anything new. I do have quite the massive collection, so I just really need to go through what I already own before buying new stuff. I feel like I don't need to hoard as much stuff, and I love trying out new products, but I just really need to at least get rid of everything that I currently own and build up from there, you know? Something else that I would like to, I guess, be more in 2022 is to be more assertive. I feel like I'm kind of a pushover, and I know that. I like to please people, and so I never really say my opinion or my ideas. I always feel like I'm going to be judged or that I'm not going to make other people happy, and so just keep my mouth shut instead of speaking up. But I would really like that to change in 2022, especially when it comes to work. I feel like at work, I never really share anything that I'm feeling. Like, I never have opinions to share. I do have opinions, but I keep them to myself instead of sharing them, and sometimes I keep stuff bottled up, and I don't know, I just feel like I could be a little bit more assertive and speak up more and just, you know, make myself present. I don't know how to explain it more. I'm a really good listener, but I feel like I don't really share with people. Like, I always want to please them, and so I would like to be a little bit more firm and grounded and make sure to, you know, stand my ground and let people know how I'm feeling. Another thing that I would like to accomplish in the upcoming year is to do more self-care. I feel like I lost sight of that in 2021. I really threw myself into my work, which is great, but at the same time, I lost sight of myself. As I was saying before, I just feel like I haven't really taken care of my mental health and just myself as a whole in 2021. So I would love to do little things. Could be like doing a face mask, which I know is not technically self-care, but it could be other things like journaling or watching a TV show or a good movie, reading a book, just making sure to take care of myself every once in a while, because I feel like I'm really running myself into the ground, and so I need to stop spreading myself too thin and make sure to concentrate my energy into fueling up my soul and my my mind. I don't know. Just I want to be taking better care of myself in 2022. And my final goal for the year is to cultivate my creativity. And I feel like that's kind of, once again, a work-related goal. I don't tend to speak up my ideas, as I was saying before, and I work with a lot of creative people, as you can imagine, in marketing. It's a lot of ideas thrown everywhere. And I feel like I'm more of an executioner of ideas than someone who comes up with ideas. And I want that to change. I want to maybe, I don't know, take a course on creativity or try out new things. I write for a living. If you didn't know, I am a content strategist, so there's a lot of written words, but I feel like I could be doing more. I feel like I could be pushing myself and pushing my limits in terms of writing and even other areas. I feel like I could be better at what I do, and I want to work towards that, whether that is through like listening to podcasts or listening to audiobooks or reading books about creativity or taking courses or maybe doing creativity challenges like writing ones or anything really. I just want to be more creative and try brainstorming new ideas, whether that is for myself, for work, for our clients, you know, just fuel up my creativity. I feel like I've lost a little bit of that throughout the years, and so I really want to cultivate that side of myself in the new year. So that is it for my goals for 2022. I feel like this was such a rambly video, so I hope you guys enjoyed it still. Let me know what your goals are in the comments down below, and I guess that's it, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!